Government of India. Acharya Vinoba Bhave Shikshak Samman 2020 from P Square. Academic Excellence Award 2017 from In Major City. Jagatguru Shri Krishna Samman 2020. Won prizes for demonstrating your own teaching and competition from Nehru Science Center. And a team leader and mentor for various science and maths projects qualified to regional and national level CBSE exhibition. Welcome, ma'am, and thank you for accepting our invite.
A very good morning to all the eminent panelists. It's a wonderful feeling today to be in this platform. I express my gratitude to Mr. Prasad and the entire P Square International for providing such a platform to share and express our ideas. So a very good morning and happy Navaratri to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good morning to you and happy Navaratri to you. And about me, Prasad Sringarpuri, the CEO of P Square International, the host of the webinar. P Square is an ISO certified organization and member of Pharma Global Mental Arithmetic Association. With a rich experience of 16 years, working on the hand-mind coordination, visual skills, auditory skills, critical thinking, problem solving, analytical thinking, time management, and improving the mental math skills of children from age group of 5 to 14 years, with the help of abacus and tricks to mathematics to Vedic techniques. With a presence in Mumbai, Pune, Nasik, Bangalore, managing 50 plus centers, 75 plus trainers, 8,500 students, and working with prestigious schools like Kamlabai Nursery, ISKCON, Janki Devi Tattamegi World Academy, Power Public Pune, Sayadri International School Pune, Saraswati Vidyalaya, JSPM, and many more. We have been encouraging and motivating children to face the competitive world by organizing large-scale competitions at the zonal, state, national, and international level for mental maths. Good morning, all. And we start now with our first question of this webinar to Shilpa ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
According to you, is numeracy required to engage and manage the mathematical demands of various situations in adult years?
Yeah. Yes. Actually, yeah. Yes. First of all, I would like to thank you all for raising this topic, because we have been speaking on national education policy, the new education policy, for a long time. From last whole month we are talking on this, but we have never touched this topic, particularly the numeracy skills and the literacy skills. And today I am very glad that we are talking on this topic, and I feel for all of us to understand why numeracy is important in adult education. So as we all know, we are all required to be numeral. We are required to have the basic skill of numeracy. Like even though the child, even if a person is not literate, he needs to have the basic skills of counting or to survive in his life. So we all are required to be numerate to maximize our potential and to make a positive contribution to the society. So in our exceedingly technical world, since we all are into the highly technologically dependent world, the positive contribution to the society will be in developing our numeracy skills, and it will be more significant. And it's everyone is behind numeracy. Why? Because numeracy skill develops lots of other skills as well. All, if you want to go for technical studies,
Some problem. So the audio. Shilpa ma'am still there?
I think we can get back to her.
Yeah, I think we'll get back to it. I will put the next one to Kavita ma'am. Okay. Ma'am, how, according to you, do we improve the numeracy skills of students?
First and the foremost thing, what exactly do we mean by numeracy? So numeracy is basically much more than arithmetics, I would say. So numeracy is not the ability which is being limited to addition, subtraction, multiplication, and divide. It is basically acquiring that concept in a progressive manner and applying the same in the real life scenario. So just to elaborate my thoughts, I will be sharing a screen. I hope I am allowed to do that.
Yes, ma'am. You will have to just hold
But
on
I
for
think the host has
yeah,
disabled.
just for a moment. Ma'am.
Just a second.
Yeah, just a moment, ma'am.
Okay, I'll wait. So basically the idea behind sharing the screen is I just wanted to showcase like there is an evolution in numeracy when we talk about it, because there is a certain benchmark which was being set as per a particular era and how exactly it got changed. Can I?
Just a second, ma'am. We are working. We just have a problem with that particular laptop. We are just doing it. Just a second. Yes, ma'am. Can you do it now?
I'll just try. Yeah. Thank you so much. It's taking a bit of time, but yes, it's there. So I hope my screen is visible to all the.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is.
So this is basically the evolution of numeracy. So as we can see, when we talk about a numerate person, there were certain benchmark which was being set in different set of eras. So between 1959 to 1982, if we can see, a numerate person is able to use arithmetic skills that are normally acquired in childhood. Then there was certain more concepts which were being added, and there was a different benchmark which was being set, I would say. So it is between 1982 to late 1990s. It was a numerate person uses maths in everyday life and understands and appreciate information presented in mathematical terms. From 1990 till today, there is again a benchmark which is being set as per the requirement, as per the evolution which has happened, as per the inception of a lot of technology, I would say. So a numerate person should possess the power and habit of mind to search out quantitative information, critique it, reflect upon it, and apply it in their public, personal, and professional life. So this is an evolutionary data which I pulled it out from National Numeracy Network 2012. So what exactly do we all mean by numeracy? So numeracy is the confidence and habit of mind to engage with, critically assess, reflect upon, and apply the quantitative and spatial information when making judgments and decisions on taking action in all aspects of daily life. So there is a real life connect. So there are two words which are being highlighted. So those are the concepts which has to be inculcated from the foundation stage. So numeracy is a broad term. I am a person who is very much into creating mind maps because I am a person who learned, I am an audio visual person. So I learn in this way. So when we talk about numeracy, there is a lot of terminology which hovers in our mind. There's a lot of number system, calculation, measuring shapes, sizes, handling data, problem solving. So these are the terms which actually covers the whole terminology which is called numeracy. Coming to the question, strategies to improve the numeracy skills. So the first and the foremost thing which we have effectively implemented in our own school, and we tell the learners that you need to embrace your mistakes. It may sound a little odd, but mistakes make it easier for us to learn, I would say. So every time we get something wrong, we understand a bit more about it. And we all should remember that nobody is born as an expert. We learn from our mistakes. So that is the first thing which I would say that we should tell our learners to do so. The second point is learners build a business enterprises. So when we teach certain concepts of addition, subtraction, multiplication, profit, loss, so we can introduce certain role plays wherein the children are allowed to buy certain items. So they can analyze what is the cost as per the brand. So those are the things which can be actually introduced in the classroom, and it will be more of an experiential learning which we actually talk about it. The third one is fit bodies and mind. So when we talk about holistic development of children, it is basically a collation of scholastic and post-scholastic skills. So why not to take out this post-scholastic skills? So in that, basically, we tell the children, go and run for 100 meters, right? So you have to jump. So there we are actually introducing a lot of concepts. If you can see size, big and small. If you can see height, heavy and low, right? We can see weight. We can see speed. We can see the distance. So these are the concepts which they are learning, wherein there is a lot of hands-on experience which is also being gained by the learners. And the order. When a competition is being conducted, there is an order, first, second, and third. So those are the concepts which are being learned. We can also introduce a lot of playing games. We all know that games are something which is being which we as an adult are attracted to, and the learners too. So with the introduction of these type of great games, for example, I have listed few which we have tried in our school. That is snooker, dart game, wherein odd and even concepts, probability and fraction, those are the concepts which can easily be taught to the children. There are games like Scrabble, Monopoly, wherein again you can introduce the concepts of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and how can we forget Sudoku, because I'm very much fond of playing every time whenever it is there in the newspaper, right? So those are the things wherein we can actually introduce effectively, and the children and the learners can gain an experience of it. I always tell my learners that there is no need to feel daunted about the numbers. You just need to find methods and tools to effectively implement it, and then our learning outcomes will effectively be gained by the educators. So, Mr. Prasad, I'm stopping to share my screen.
Okay.
So I have given a couple of strategies. I hope that must be applied in each and every schools. But then this is something which we have effectively applied, and we will be happy to say that the learning outcome was really being achieved in an effective manner.
Very true, ma'am. These role plays that are being played, and even these post-scholastic ideas that we have, absolutely, when children are going to be on field, and basically when they are going to be using it on field, it becomes more practical for them. They really do understand, and that's the best way to actually get into their minds. Right? When you're talking about speed, when you're talking about distance, and even when you're talking about competition, you're basically getting them to know numbers or playing with numbers even at an early stage. So that's something that everybody needs to be looking into. And your role play thing is a very good idea. I think that is something which if everybody can follow that, it's a fantastic thing that would really help them build their skills. Another question later on. I will still move on to now AKHILA ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, ma'am, I have a question for you. Should our teaching emphasize on mathematical concepts, and how are these concepts applied in the real world?
Maths is a universal language, as we all know, and it is a very fundamental part in the human thought and logical reasoning. And it plays a very integral part to know about ourselves and world in large. So this is what we know about maths and how important maths is. Now, teaching maths concepts, like whether it is a computational skill or probably spatial ability or probably the qualitative reasoning, all these mathematical concepts which are taught help an individual to develop their normal cognitive tasks. Not only that, it helps in help the individual to have a decision-making capability, then helps in problem solving, and most importantly, it is a very important to teach maths concepts in such a way that there is a focus which is developed in an individual and a visual attention which is developed. So all these are like the activities which an individual or a student has to develop based on his needs. Now, in a school curriculum, when we design a school curriculum, what we should aim at when we introduce the maths concepts as educators is our top goal should be not only to get frame a curriculum or design a curriculum in such a way that the student gets maximum marks, but it should mainly aim so that the children are equipped to face the real life challenges. So that should how the curriculum should be designed. That should be the main motive, and that should be the objective of framing a curriculum. Now, just now, I think ma'am told about the role plays and different techniques, different activities. What are these? These are experiential learning techniques, which are the in thing now. That is, experiential learning is nothing but teaching through direct experiences. That is relating the students to the day-to-day world. So that is what has to be incorporated in the curriculum and all such activities. Apart from that, I want to stress on one more thing which can be incorporated in the curriculum designing to teach the mathematical concepts. That is to have an interdisciplinary approach. The students study different subjects, whether it is math, whether it's science, social studies, and all other subjects. So why not introduce mathematical concepts in that? So having an interdisciplinary approach towards the teaching maths concept can be also very helpful, so that the children relate to mathematical concepts. Now, talking about maths, the second question that you are asking me about, maths is there in everyday life. Whether we are doing an estimation in shopping, or probably we are making some, using decimals for a financial transactions, or probably using fractions in cooking and baking, or maybe using the measurement skills in sewing. So these are the simple things which I told. To a much bigger picture, like, using mathematical concepts for architecture, fashion designing, interior designing, coding, the STEM education that we are talking about. So all these also are very much where the child has to develop or the student has to develop in. Now, when I talk about mathematical concepts being introduced, these everyday life activities should be related to the teaching. When the classroom teaching and the lesson plans should be based on this particular thing. And once the children relate to the real life situations, their learning becomes much more, they can apply the knowledge that you have studied to the real life situation. And not only that, the learning becomes much more fun, much more enjoyable, and that is what is ultimately an objective of every educator, of every school or every institution, to make the learning space more joyful, more fun. And when we talk about the multiple intelligence theory of Howard Gardner, what he says is every individual has 8 types of intelligence. Now, it is not that a person is good in maths, a person is good in literary skills. Every individual has this innate capacity. He has this 8 intelligence. Now, it is upon us as educators, it is upon us as schools to design a curriculum in such a way so that we bring about this innate capacity, we bring about the innate potential of the child, whether it is a mathematical ability or any other ability. So it all depends on our lesson plans, our objectives, our curriculum designing. So that is what we have to stress on, because research also shows that even the infants have the ability towards numerical competencies. So this is what we have to aim at as educators. And I think if we do that and we are at the right path, and as the code says that education is all about what remains once the child, the learning that remains once the child goes out of the school. So if that is what we aim at and teach mathematical concepts in such a way in schools, I think we are far more successful and making an individual much more successful in life. So that is what my point of view based on your questions.
Very true, ma'am. Very true. And thank you very much, ma'am. Yes, we have to have more of enjoyment in mathematics, because otherwise it really gets too cranky and too boring. So a lot of real life as related to even what Kavita ma'am said and what you said, a lot of real life role plays need to be done on a regular basis. And yes, the interdisciplinary thing in curriculum is a very good idea. I think we should look at that, where you can actually inculcate a cross learning of all the subjects. So that's fantastic. Thank you, AKHILA ma'am. And I think Shilpa ma'am is back with us.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, she joined.
Sorry, I had a call in between.
Okay.
To disconnect. It was an important call. Yeah, so I was talking about illiteracy and innumeracy. So I'll tell you one example. When I met a woman in a rural background, and she was actually illiterate. She didn't know how to write, how to sign herself. So, but then she was selling something, and she was able to do the transaction so well. She had a very good transaction. I was just observing her minutely, and I asked her that how did you learn all this, because she has never been to any school, she has never learned anything. But what she said was very good, that I have learned through experience. Because initially what she told me was, initially when she started doing something for to earn her livelihood, she was cheated a lot, because people used to cheat her. When they used to buy something from her and give her some little less amount of money, she was cheated. And then she took on herself that no, I have to learn numeracy, I will learn how to count money, and at least the basic transactional skills I should know. And she was so pro into it, she was able to count till thousands, 10,000 also. So that is the reason, that's why I was telling you that for adult education also, literacy and numeracy both should go parallelly, both are equally important. And when it was asked, specifically to some people, that whether illiteracy or innumeracy, what is important to you, most of them said illiteracy is important. If we are illiterate, we feel embarrassed. But no, it is, if you are innumerate, you will feel embarrassed more, because in numerous numbers are everywhere in our life. We start our day with the numbers. We look at the watch, yeah, that is number in our life, that yes, our day starts with numbers, our day ends also with numbers. So numbers are everywhere. So I think every person should be very well versed with numeracy skills, and the NEP which has come up now is also giving a lot of emphasis on the skills. So numeracy is the first and foremost thing which we have to develop right from our young age. So, and if you learn numeracy in your younger years, early years, it is going to benefit to us in the adult age as well. So yes, numeracy and literacy both go hand in hand, but yes, numeracy I feel is more important than literacy, because numeracy will help you to survive also, and it is one of the most fundamental skills in our life to learn about.
Very true, Shilpa ma'am. And life experiences does teach you a lot of things. Yes, and you are actually playing with numbers right from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. So very important, numbers are in our life, and without that, nothing. So everything is related to numbers only. And yeah, ma'am, continuation to this, I'll ask you another question, Shilpa ma'am. What skills does studying mathematics develop? Shilpa ma'am?
Hello, yes, I am here.
Another question that comes to you in continuation to what you said was, what skills does studying mathematics develop? What are the skills that are being developed while you're studying mathematics?
See, the most important is the critical thinking, because as the child is born, the child has to, in her early years, we teach them
There is some connection issues.
Okay,
Some connection issues that Shilpa ma'am sent, I guess we will.
send your message. Okay,
Yes.
okay. We will then continue with Kavita ma'am. Yeah, ma'am, what do you think? Should we
Prasad sir,
encourage?
sorry, there was some network connection problem here
Not
in
a
my
problem.
school today. Actually, I'm in school. I'm in the school today working, and there's some network issues going
Not
on
a
in the
problem.
school.
You can continue with what.
Yeah. So I was telling you that we teach them a lot of logical and illogical things. They should be able to differentiate between what is logical and what is illogical in their life. So numeracy skills will help them in making the logical decisions and differentiate between what is illogical and illogical first. Analytical skills will develop with the help of numeracy. They will start thinking critically. They will start evaluating a problem in their life very critically and then come to some conclusion. And as you know, this is the age of coding. So coding also depends more on numeracy skills. So the critical thinking skills, the coding skills, then the analytical thinking, quantitative reasoning, the qualitative reasoning. No, we have lot of data, and the data interpretation will be done only if you numeracy skills are very well developed in you. And since everything around is running on data, data analytics is the most important field which is going to come up now. So data sciences, data analysis, the deep learning, deep methodologies. So all these are the most happening arenas where children can do their careers into. So I think numeracy skills are going to help us in all these fields. Even as a leader, I'm happy that I'm able to enumerate everything: my time management, my leadership skills, my allocating the work to everyone. Everything is dependent on my numeracy skills. So everything, all these skills, the independence, you become independent once you are enumerate. So you have the numeracy skills into it, you become a little more independent. And especially women like us, women has to be independent, because most of the women in India are housewives and they are still dependent on their husband. But then if you still see, with limited resources also, they're able to run the household so well. That is only because their numeracy skills are very strong. So I think numeracy is most important foundation in everyone's life.
Very true, Shilpa ma'am. And yes, the housewives are the ones who are actually managing all the finances. So numeracy is very important. And it's actually, as you said, yes, analytical thinking, time management, it is really very important. These skills are being developed, which is very important here in daily life. Absolutely right, ma'am. Kavita ma'am, back to you with another question. Should we encourage students to use their creativity in mathematics? Ma'am, what do you say?
Because creativity is something which has to be encouraged irrespective of any particular discipline. But just to elaborate on this, I just need to add one more thing on what Shilpa ma'am has told, like numbers are everywhere. So our day starts with number. I would say as soon as a baby or a child is born, there is a number, which plays an astrological role, because we need to take down the date of birth and the timing, which has its astrological aspects to be covered by the grandparents, and then documentation. Birth certificate is required as soon as the admission has to be given. So that is something. So numbers are really everywhere. So coming to the question like creativity, yes, of course, creativity is something which has to be encouraged, not even among the learners, I would say, among the educators also. Because the educators, if they are creative, they are able to gauge what the children are learning. And our main objective is like, it shouldn't end up with our learning outcome. Basically, it should be a long-term retention in their mind. So that is something which we want, so that long-term retention will be applied in the real life scenario. Now, there are a lot of pros of exploring creativity. So for example, it enhances the investigative and the problem solving skills. It fosters the initiative, innovation, and creative thinking among the children, and establish a connection to the real life. So whatever they are learning, as Shilpa ma'am has told, like there are a lot of data which are being available. So they can easily analyze and they can put up their own conclusion regarding the data. So that is something which is why we are hunting for some temporary data. We already have a lot of authentic data which can be actually analyzed by the children. So will be giving them a real life exposure, a real life experience of analyzing those data. It also explores coding, which is a debatable topic, I would say, because half of the education fraternity feels like, yes, it has to be introduced because the NEP demands that, but there are certain parents who are feeling like it shouldn't be introduced in the early age because children are not able to hands of it. The reason behind what I personally feel is like, yes, it has to be introduced because just like we are talking about numeracy and literacy skill, why not this particular digital era skill, which is none other than coding. So that has to be there. And then it nurtures the mathematical thinking and of course the reasoning skills. When we talk about enhancing the 21st century skills, wherein we are talking about coding, computational skills, these are the skills which are going to be enhanced when we are exploring creativity. I don't think so creativity can be stopped anywhere. We don't know what a learner may think and what he may come up with. So it is all about thinking out of the box. So anybody can create anything in due course of time by applying whatever they have learned in their school in their real life.
Very true, ma'am. Out of the box thinking is very, very important. Absolutely true. And back to AKHILA, ma'am. Final question of the webinar. Ma'am, should the educators be concerned about the students' attitudes towards mathematics?
Yeah, when we talk about attitude towards maths, the attitude can be a positive attitude and a negative attitude. So when it is a positive attitude in students, we have nothing to worry because the student is self-motivated and has all means and ways and all sorts of thing where he can develop the mathematical skills. What we need to worry as educators and as teachers is where the students develop a negative attitude towards maths, and that usually is called as the maths anxiety or the maths phobia, which normally and a general tendency that we see in children. Like, most of the students, there's a common notion that they say that maths is the most toughest subject. It's a very difficult subject. Now, why does this sort of anxiety or maths phobia develop in students? Now, it might be for various reasons. It might be because of the personal experience. It might be because the teacher is not using proper techniques, or the teaching methodology is not very interesting, or probably it's not the student is not able to understand it, or it might be a small feeling that they hate that particular teacher. So there are various issues which might lead into maths anxiety or maths phobia. Now, when we say about phobia or an anxiety, like what would be the remedies and how it can be overcome in schools? Now, as we all know, in a school ecosystem, there are three pivotal pillars. That is the students, parents, and as well as the teachers. Now, students being pivotal and most important. Now, all these three stakeholders, if they join together and aim at solving this problem, then nothing is impossible. When I say how do the students overcome this maths anxiety, is I would say the students, first of all, they should have this mindset which they need to develop, that if I don't understand a particular problem, it is not only me that who understands in this class, there are others also who might be having this problem. So these sort of mental makeup or a mindset that the child develops also helps him in overcoming the fear. And plus, like when we adopt proper revision techniques, use concept maps, mind maps, in order to just now Kavita ma'am told about that, where revision of a topic and all that becomes much more easier. So such type which is adopted to in students will also help them to overcome the maths anxiety or the phobia. Now, coming to teachers, how can they see to it that identify this maths attitude towards the from the students, and how they can do it is mostly teaching mathematics, as we already mentioned, all of us mentioned, even Shilpa mentioned, and Shilpa ma'am mentioned, and even Kavita ma'am mentioned, to adopt such a lesson plan with a lot of experiential activities, with a lot of activities which makes it relate the mathematical concepts taught to the day-to-day life, make it more interesting, and most importantly have an open-ended questions which are asked to them, and lead every concept from the known concept to the unknown concept, which simplifies every hard concept. And plus also when we relate it to the day-to-day life, the application of that concept becomes easy and the children start connecting it, relating it. Apart from that, what I feel is teachers should have patience, encourage and motivate the students so that they get devoid of that particular anxiety. Coming to the parents, mostly we see that nowadays it is like Shilpa ma'am just now told, it's an age of coding. We see that at the age of 7 years, you start coding. You want the children to do, so many things. And in 6th standard, you want the child to go for IIT classes. So these are the parental pressures that they put up in children. Though that particular thing, that counseling need to be told to parents that every child has a different capability. They have their own pace of learning. So have patience, be supportive towards that and understanding the child, and not only completely equate the success quotient with the academic excellence or marks. When that is brought into when the parents start inculcating in the students, I don't think that anxiety will continue. So this is what I feel, that maths attitude, whatever attitude the child develops, it is like a collaborative effect of all the three stakeholders of school ecosystem to join hands and use their strategies in order to overcome this. Thank you.
Very, 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 very true, Akila ma'am. Thank you very much. And learned a lot today. Yeah, absolutely. We got to know that role plays, open-mindedness, with a good attitude. Yes, students will have developed self-confidence. They should be enjoying what they're doing. They should be learning from life experiences, which is very important. And all that has been said by the three of you. Wonderful, absolutely nice. And we really, really understood that, yes, it is an important thing. Mathematics is really very important. And we need to be, as ma'am also said about different learning styles. All of us have different learning styles. All of us need to understand that, yes, we cannot be good in each and everything, and we need to develop that with talking about even coding. Yes, people are rushing through coding at the age of 6 and 7. They need to understand that, yes, everybody cannot be getting into that right now. So there is a time and age, and let them do it at their own pace. And at the same time, we as educators need to guide them and also take them forward. So fantastic. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful session. Just a last message that all of you can give to us, starting with Shilpa ma'am. A final message that you to all of us, ma'am.
I would like to thank you, especially Prasad sir, because you are into this field, from last so many years. I know you very well, and you are actually trying to create interest among students, especially in developing their numeracy skills. And I've seen quite a few videos where children are doing so fast, using the abacus. They're doing so fast, and then the interest which is created by your institute, that is what is most important. And thank you and congratulations to your entire team for doing such a wonderful job, especially developing the numeric skills in the children at a very young age.
Thank you, ma'am.
And thank you for this opportunity for 2P Square International and yourself.
Thank you, ma'am. So kind of you. Yes, Kavita ma'am.
So thank you very much, Mr. Prasad. Thank you, Ms. Preeti. And thank you to P Square for arranging these type of webinars, because we are actually reading a lot. There are a lot of manuals which is being published by CBSE. We are implementing as well. But then when these type of webinars are being conducted, there is an exchange of views as well. There's a lot of takeaway. There's a lot of learning which happens. So though we are implementing, but we are learning when we collaborate. So that's something which there will be a lot of takeaways for me personally, and I hope for others as well, which we can implement it in our school effectively, I would say. And then as Akhila ma'am said, yes, as an educator, as a leader, we all should apprise our parents, stating like their children have their caliber. We have to be little patient. So really don't know in near future how that miracle is going to be unfolded and what exactly they will be becoming. So we don't have to run towards marks and towards academics. We don't know, they might be a cricketer, there might be a coder as well. So that is something we as a parent should understand. Like, our job is just to give them a right and good education and motivate them in every step of their life, so that they can give and they can show that miracle to happen. And we as a parent can actually embrace it with a lot of motivation, a lot of appreciation, I would say. So thank you to the whole team of P Square. I will love to participate in upcoming webinars if being invited, I would say. Thank you very much.
Of course, ma'am. Of course. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, and back to you, Akhila, ma'am. Your message for all of us.
I would like to share one of my experiences, my personal experience over here. Since this is, your entire project is like, to develop numeracy skills at a very early stage. I should say my son, who is ex-IITian, he's from IIT Kanpur. So his interest in mathematics was inculcated when he joined for SIP abacus classes. And I could see his progress, the interest level, the focus, the attention, the immense capacity of that calculation. All these I owe to this abacus classes, and at a very young age of when he was in 6th standard, and when he was in 7th, he won the regional level the abacus this thing over in Pune. So this was where he got the motivation. The seed was sown over there, and right now let me tell you, he's so much into mathematics, and he's always into mathematics, and he's that particular interest, the level of self-confidence and the level of self-esteem that he has got is all because of the root which was there in these classes that he developed. And I could see from my own personal experience, it develops a lot, the skills develops a lot, and it that interest level also goes and it carries on in the later part of their life. So a wonderful job that you're doing, sir. Thank you so much for inviting us. And like Shilpa ma'am and Kavita ma'am said, we would like to interact each other. I learned so many things. It's a lot of takeaways. We might be educators for so many years, but each one has different perception, different ideas, which we share, which we collaborate, which makes us as a better person. And thank you so much, Preeti ma'am and Prasad sir, for giving the opportunity to be in this particular platform. Thank you.
Ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. We would like to have you open, all of you. And the last closing message, Preeti ma'am, could you give us your, please?
Yes, sure. I will also share one example, one experience of mine when I used to teach maths to children. Tabhi wo 3 Idiots picture movie had got released, so they made a different song out of it. Jab life out of control, to maths ko bana le bone. Because they used to say, just like how you teach that every problem has a solution, similarly we should find out for solutions in our life for each and every problem that they face. I should say that teachers should be using different teaching styles, innovative methods, and nurture young minds with math and literacy skills in their foundation years itself and prepare them for life. So just try doing innovative methods and you will definitely get results. Mr. Prasad, we will also like to hear some closing message from you.
Thank all the participants who have been actually making our webinars successful. They have been attending all our webinars regularly. Thank you to all the participants and thank you to all the panelists for giving us a valuable time, and a happy Navratri to all of you. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.